Hello everyone, welcome to another Maya 2015 tutorial. This is our Pontoon airplane we've been working on for quite a while. We're going to do a little bit more than the book does, and we're going to do some texturing through our hypershade. We're going to use some of the mental ray nodes. There's a lot of options in there, so we'll go ahead and explore on some of those. Let's go ahead and dive in, get our hypershade opened. So I'll click on this, open my hypershade. Okay, so move this over so there's a little bit better of a workspace. Get rid of that and that. Okay. So inside your hypershade, there's the regular Maya shader nodes, which is what the Lambert, which every object is defaultly assigned to. That's where we create those. So you see surface, Lambert. If you look a little further down, it says mental ray, and those are where the shaders from mental ray are located. Mental ray is a plugin for Maya, so if it doesn't defaultly open for you, you can go to Window, Settings and Preferences, Plugin Manager, and down near the bottom there's one that says mental ray. Let's see here. There it is, mental ray. Just make sure that's checked and you're good to go. Alright. That was also good to note that mental ray was added into Maya as not an external plugin, but actually part of the package. When it was first created, it was actually a $500 plugin, from what I understand. So you guys get it for free, just part of the package. Well, not for free. You buy Maya, you get mental ray, or if you have a student version, you get mental ray. So it would be free in that manner. Okay, so let's look at creating some mental ray shaders. Okay, so underneath materials here, mental ray. If you click on these little names underneath it, it'll instead of giving you all the shaders that are inside mental ray, it'll just give you the ones that go with like materials or textures, whatever. Okay, so we're dealing with materials, and I want to first create myself paint textures. I'm going to use my car paint pen X, just create one of those. And let's go ahead and add that texture onto the fuselage. Now, the fuselage, we combined all of our objects on our last project, which in some cases could be considered a mistake if you're wanting to quickly assign out textures. But since I want to actually show you guys how to assign shader texture to faces individually, this actually presents a good opportunity for us to do that. So I'm going to right mouse button on my airplane here, and I'll get my little drop down menu. It gives me my different component types I can pick from. And I want my face mode, so I'm going to select face. I'm going to select my first face here, and I'll hold down shift and the right arrow key on the period button. That's the one I'm after, not the actual arrow keys, but it looks like having an arrow key. And what this is it's a grow selection. So hold down shift and press the period button, and you'll see that your selection of faces has grown to cover the entire fuselage, which is what I'm after. Okay, now I want to assign this to this mental ray shader. So I'm going to hold down right mouse button on top of the shader, go to assign material to selection, and now my airplane has this shader attached to it. Excellent. Now, if you render this and you don't have mental ray turned on, so let's say, for instance, you have Maya software active, and you go ahead and render this without mental ray, all those parts will be invisible because Maya software doesn't know what to do with mental ray shaders. So you have to use mental ray to render here. So if we switch this back over to mental ray and do a little render now, it should come out a lot different. You got a nice realistic looking airplane texture. Now the cool thing about mental ray is it's got a lot of stuff going on for the attributes. It's dealing with reflectivity, paint fleck, there's a lot of specular and reflectivity. So there's a lot of cool stuff that's going on with this shader. It gives you a lot very quickly. So let's say though that you don't want to go with this default red that it gives you. So let's open up the attributes for this guy and see what we have to work with. Okay, select our shader. Now you see it has base color, and that's the color that you're mainly seeing is the red color. And let's say that I didn't really want red. Let's go with something more like, yeah, let's go with that color. Okay. And if you see there's a lit color, that is in the specular area, which is kind of cool because you can do a render, and where the specular highlights are, you can choose the color that's going to be reflected in that specular. So let's see what we got now with that. Okay, kind of gives you that iridescent look. I don't really like the red though. Let's pick something else. Maybe let's go with maybe green. That makes more sense. So either green or yellow. Let's go with green. Okay. You can do spec weight. So that will help you judge your reflectivity. Flake color. Right now it's set to white. So we're talking about flake parameters here. This is like paint flakes. If you're a painter for automotive, metallic flakes are inside the paint. And if the flakes are really big, it looks kind of chunky. If the flakes are really, really small, it looks very minerally. So let's say that I want my flake density to be more like 0.3, and I want my scale to be 0.1, maybe even lower than that. No, actually 0.1 sounds good. Let's go ahead and test that out, and maybe change the flake color. Let's change it from white to, let's make it part of that green that we're doing with the spec. Let's see if that how that looks. Kind of in there. Alright, so let's see what that looks like now. Let's do another render here. Alright, that looks pretty cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and move this along. We're going to speed up our project here a little bit. So I need to create some new shaders because blue is not going to cover everything. So let's create ourselves a chrome shader. And Maya mental ray, and the mental ray shader for, let's see here, Maya material, or MIA material X. That's the one I'm looking for. Let's go ahead and create one of those. And if you look over here, underneath the attributes, it has an icon on the right here. It says presets, and that's what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and click on presets. You'll see one that says Chrome right at the top, and when you hover over the top, you'll see it says replace, and that'll give you a percentage. So you don't have to have it all be Chrome, but let's say you want it to all be Chrome, and I do. So I'm just going to replace. Now you can see that the reflectivity and the color of our Chrome is displayed here in this little orb. So let's say I want all of this. I want those all to be Chrome. And I want these inner engine parts, I want those all to be Chrome as well. Now I need to grab one face on each one of these components, because when I grow the selection, it'll eventually cover everything. So if I have everything, I can just grow my selection, holding down shift with that period, pushing the period a bunch of times, and it grows all the way out. Now they are all selected, and now I can go to this Chrome, right mouse button on top, assign material selection. Alright, so now we're moving along. Let's see what we're dealing with now. Let's go ahead and fire off another render here. Okay. Alright, things are looking pretty good now. I got some nice little chrome pieces coming off. I got nice little chrome mechanical pieces on the inside. I'm not a big fan of this blue from the fuselage showing through, so I'm going to have to reassign that to a different color, probably black. So speaking of black, let's go ahead and create some rubber, and we'll use that to fill in this spot, and we'll use it for some other areas as well. So I'm going to create another, and actually I'm going to clean out this area here. So our work area down here is starting to get kind of full. I don't need all of this, and I don't really need a whole lot of that, so I'll move that up. And move this up a little bit. Okay, now I need to clear out this work area. If you press this little icon right here, this is clear graph. It looks like a little eraser. Clears out your work area. Okay, so let's create ourselves a new Maya material X. There we go. Now, underneath presets, you look down near the bottom here. There's one that says rubber. Let's go ahead and replace it with rubber. Okay. So let's go ahead and have our pontoons. Those will all be rubber. Yep. Assign material selection. There we go. Those are all rubber. And I want, let's say, these supports. Those should be, yeah, why not have rubber supports? That makes sense. There we go. And, okay, now let's address this inner part here. Okay, let's grow our selection. Okay, that looks like it covers all of it. So assign material selection. There we go. So let's go to our object mode and see how we're looking now. Okay, that looks good. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and render again. Let's see how we're doing here. Alright, it's looking kind of good. I think we need some more color though. I think that maybe some. Let's see here. What would go good with blue? I think that maybe black and red and yellow. Okay, let's just go ahead and experiment a little bit. And I'm actually going to use a different shader. Let's go ahead and jump back into Maya. We're going to use one of their Fong shaders. And I'll use that. I'm going to change the color from gray. Let's go with a red color. It'll be either red or yellow, but I'm not sure yet. I want to see what it looks like on here first. Just select these four faces in the middle. Grow that selection out. Holding down shift for that period. Okay. Yeah, that does look a little silly. I was worried about that. I thought it would look like an airplane with a little red nose. We can always change it. Go with yellow instead. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I have to get these in between parts though. Manually snag all those. If you're seeing me grab those those loops, is all I'm doing is where I can see that they're looping around where we did that extrusion for the propeller. I'm just shift selecting one, then shift double clicking the face next to it, and that gives me the whole loop. Okay, almost there. Assign material selection. There we go, now it's all yellow. Alright, so let's go ahead and make the propellers. We're going to go with probably black rubber on that as well. Okay. And probably black rubber on the inside too, that would just make sense. Okay, that's looking good. Let's go ahead and render this and see how that's looking. Oh, looks like I missed one. This inner loop here. Missing the other ones. Let's just make sure that I got all. Okay. Let's go ahead and check now. Let's go ahead and fire off another render here. See how we're looking. Okay, that's coming along. Alright, so let's see here. These are all one object, so this may not turn out the way I want it to, but I'm going to go ahead and try it anyways and see if it works out. I'm going to try using a Lambert and create a ramp on it, see if I can get the ramp to apply across it. It may not work, but we'll go ahead and try it anyways. We'll use this Lambert here, and I will select all the faces, so holding down Shift for the period, getting all those faces all the way around the Lambert. And I'm going to select it, assign material selection. Let's go ahead and see if I can use a ramp on this guy. So I'm going to go to my color attribute, hit the checker box on it, and I'm going to use, here's a ramp shader, see if that works. Okay, I see it looks like it might be working. Yeah, it is. Okay, that's what I want. So you see how the ramp shader works here is the more I move this down, it's fading it out. So I could switch these if I want to, see if that looks better going the other way. Have a fade going this way. That does look good. I don't think white's the right color though, so I'm going to have to change that color. Let's go with an actual gray. And we'll just push that up a little bit, pull this one back a little bit. So you get this this faded kind of look, like it was gray at the start, and then as it goes further back, it gets a little bit different. We might be able to add some distortion to this by going down to the selected color here, clicking on the checker box, and we can add like a fractal to it. See if that looks like the fractal kind of canceled it out. It is a little too intense. Let's go back over here, follow it down to the ramp, see if I can. Yeah, see, it's a bit too dark, so I have to make this black again. Default to gray, go back to black. That's not quite coming out the way I want it to. So I'm actually going to bail on that, and I'm just going to break the connections from the fractal. So all I'm going to do there is just, all I do is click this little icon here. It says graph input output connections, and all I'm going to do is just delete off the fractal section that's plugging into the ramp. Just hit delete, go back to the ramp, click on the color here, and I'm just going to go back to black on that one. Okay, that looked okay to me. Alright, so let's add some more color in here real quick. Let's go with that yellow we went with earlier. Let's see if we can create a yellow-like color for these back fins here. Okay, so let's go back to Mental Ray, and we'll create ourselves another paint material. This time though, let's go ahead and change the base color from red to this yellow color, and let's change the lit color from red to, let's go with the opposite of that. That blue color, like the body is. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so I'm going to go to my face mode. I'll select one face from each one of these back wings in here. let's just go ahead and get it done. Let's do this whole top piece as well. See how that looks. It might be a little too much yellow, but we'll go ahead and try it out anyways. Won't know until you try, right? Alright. Looks pretty decent, actually. Yeah, I kind of like that. Maybe I'll use one more shader for these side vertical winglets. Alright, so let's give a quick render, see where we're at here. Yeah, that looks really good. I actually like that, and I like the lip color, how the blue, how so it kind of looks like it's taking in the fuselage color. That's kind of nice. Okay. Looks like we don't have quite enough blue though. Maybe I'll use this blue on these plates down here. See if that helps. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this blue, bring it down here in the work area, and I'll select each face or one face on each one of these little platforms. Hold down Shift, press the period key till the selection grows over the entire area, and then I'll just assign it to that blue paint material. Okay. And I want to create one more My Material X, and I want to use presets. Let's see about copper. Let's see what that looks like. Go ahead and replace. And I want, gotta be a little careful on this one because I don't want the whole thing. I just want these side winglets. Let's do a little more key box here. Okay. Go ahead and assign copper in there. Let's see how that looks. We'll do a quick render on that. See if I'm happy with that. Yeah, I like that look. That works. Keep that toy look. Go ahead and assign this side as well. Okay. Now everything's been assigned to some color, so the hyper shade is taking care of all the texturing for this airplane. And go to object mode. Alright, so I'm good here. I'm just going to go ahead and save file. Save scene. Continue. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a little test render and see how the final version looks. Okay, that looks pretty decent. I think that will work. You guys can obviously get all kinds of creative with this. I was just doing this very simply, showing you guys how you can assign shaders to different face selections, to and how to experiment with the presets with Mental Ray. So hopefully that helped you guys out quite a bit. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, or if you're in my class, just bring it up in class. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.